So that's one thing that I always like to remind people is we see these things in movies where when people are being arrested, they're saying, oh, the things you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. That's a real thing. A lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah, everything can come back and bite you. And so understand that you don't have to answer the questions of the police. And so this, you may disagree with the point I'm going to make here. I know a lot of defense attorneys in town say, don't blow, don't blow, don't blow. But if you're in San Antonio, that means they're going to get a blood warrant.
Okay.
And I think a lot of us would rather fight a case where it's a blow versus a blood warrant.
Right. Right.
So just do what you think is right. If you really, we've had people. I had a person this week in court whose BAC blood alcohol concentration level came back below the legal limit. So that case is going to be dismissed.
Okay. Okay.
So those things can happen too.
And it is a little different because most of my practice was in these rural jurisdictions like Wilson County, Atascosa County, Kendall County, Karnes County. And over there, they didn't always have someone who could obtain that blood warrant.
Right.
So
Medina County doesn't do blood warrants at all. So it's going to be based on whatever evidence you provide. So in those counties, it's the advice don't blow is good advice because they can't make you blow.
Right.
They can't make you do any of those field sobriety tests.
Right.
But understand that the prosecutor, if we end up going to trial, is going to say, if he really felt like he was sober, why wouldn't he do the test? Now, we may argue about whether that's admissible or not, but that's something for another topic.
And that's something you let your attorney worry about.
Yes. Yes.
So even after the part where you're being arrested and the officer has that body cam, there's cameras in the vehicle, right?
Yeah. So there's two cameras in the vehicle. One's facing the road and the other's facing you in the back seat.
Okay. So let's talk about the one facing in the back seat. Does that ever come into play?
It comes into play. So pretty much nobody knows that there's a camera on them when they're in the back seat. And so clients have been saying stuff like, oh, I'm really in trouble. I wish I hadn't have shot that guy or things like that. and that's completely admissible because you're not statements you make to police in response to questions. We can argue about whether that's admissible or not. But when you're just rattling on and not in response to questioning, that stuff's coming in.
Right.
So when you're in the back seat making admissions or crying like I shouldn't have had all that alcohol before I got in the car,
right, all
that stuff's coming in.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think the adage of keep your mouth shut.
It's always a good one.
That might be the right way to do it, right?